Rusty was a scruffy little dog with hopeful amber eyes. For many years, he lived a happy life with a kind woman named Mrs. Gable. She treated him gently, shared her meals with him, and sang to him in the evenings. But their peaceful world shattered the day Mrs. Gable passed away. Her nephew, a stern man named Frank, inherited the small cottage and everything in it, including Rusty. Frank was nothing like his aunt. From the moment he arrived, his voice was a harsh command. "Get out from under my feet, you mangy mutt. You're good for nothing." Rusty's life became a relentless cycle of toil. He was forced to chase rodents out of the dilapidated barn, a job that left him scratched and hungry. He was tied to a post for hours, guarding piles of scrap metal Frank collected. He trudged through muddy fields with no food, his paws sore and his spirit dimming. Every day he grew skinnier and more tired. The neighbors would see his condition and offer a word of caution. "Frank, that dog needs some care." But Frank would just snarl back, "Mind your own business." Every night, Rusty curled up in a damp corner of the porch, his stomach aching with hunger. He would gaze at the moon and whisper the same quiet plea, "I just want a kind touch once more." Miles away, in a bustling town, lived a young man named Leo, a baker who had lost his bakery in a fire just a year before. After the blaze, he had to sell his home and most of his belongings. He was left with only one faithful companion. His dog, a golden retriever named Daisy, was his shadow. Leo now worked odd jobs, from sweeping streets to delivering newspapers, anything to make ends meet. He barely spoke. His once bright smile was a distant memory. Loss had carved deep lines of sorrow on his face, but he clung to a sliver of hope. Every night before falling asleep on a thin mattress in his small rented room, he would murmur, "God, just show me a way forward." Daisy would always rest her head on his lap, offering her silent, unwavering support. One chilly morning, Leo was delivering groceries on his bicycle when a speeding car cut him off. "Hey, watch out," he yelled. The bike swerved violently. He tried to regain control, but the front wheel hit a pothole. "Oh no, I'm going down," he thought. The crash was jarring. Leo landed hard on the pavement, his ankle twisting beneath him. A searing pain shot up his leg. "My ankle, I think it's broken," he gasped, trying to push himself up. The groceries were scattered across the road. Worse, as he tried to stand, a shard of glass from a broken jar sliced deep into his hand. "Not this. Not today," he groaned, the world spinning around him. He couldn't put any weight on his foot, and blood was now dripping from his palm. He was miles from home, with no money for a cab and no one to call. Despair, cold and sharp, began to creep in. Meanwhile, back at the cottage, Frank had decided Rusty was more trouble than he was worth. He loaded the dog into the back of his rusty pickup truck. "You're just another mouth to feed," he grumbled, not even bothering to look at the trembling animal. He drove for miles, deep into the countryside, finally stopping on a deserted road next to a dense forest. He opened the tailgate and shoved Rusty out. "Go on, get lost," he said, and without a second glance, he sped away, leaving Rusty alone in a cloud of dust and exhaust. Rusty watched the truck disappear, a profound sense of abandonment washing over him. He was scared and alone, but a flicker of instinct urged him to move. He began to walk, his nose to the ground, following an old, forgotten path. He walked for what felt like hours, his hunger and gnawing pain in his belly. He drank from puddles and nibbled on wild berries, but his strength was fading. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the trees, he stumbled upon a paved road. It was the same road where, just a few hours earlier, Leo had crashed his bike. Leo was still there, slumped against a tree, his face pale with pain and exhaustion. Daisy was beside him, whining softly, nudging his uninjured hand with her nose. He had tried to flag down cars, but no one had stopped. His hope was dwindling with the daylight. "It's no use, girl," he whispered to Daisy, his voice hoarse. "We're stuck here." It was then that he heard a faint rustling in the bushes. Daisy's ears perked up, and she let out a low growl. A small, scruffy dog emerged from the tree line, limping slightly, its amber eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. It was Rusty. He saw Leo and Daisy and froze, expecting a shout or a thrown stone. But Leo just looked at him with tired eyes. "Hey there, little guy," Leo said softly. "You look like you've had a rough day, too." The gentleness in Leo's voice was something Rusty hadn't heard in a long time. It was the sound he had been praying for. Hesitantly, he took a step forward, then another, until he was close enough for Leo to see the weariness in his frame. Leo reached out his good hand, wincing from the movement, and gently stroked Rusty's matted fur. "It's okay," he murmured. "It's okay." At that moment of connection, a car finally slowed down and pulled over. An elderly woman rolled down her window. "Son, are you all right? I saw you fall earlier, but couldn't stop in traffic." Tears of relief welled up in Leo's eyes. "My ankle is broken, and I can't walk," he explained. The woman immediately called for an ambulance. As they waited, Leo kept his hand on Rusty, who had settled down beside him, his body pressed against Leo's leg. Daisy, sensing no threat, lay down on Leo's other side, completing a small circle of comfort. The paramedics arrived and carefully tended to Leo's injuries. "What about the dogs?" Leo asked, his voice filled with concern. "I can't leave them." The kind woman who had stopped offered a solution. "I'll take them to the local animal shelter for you," she said. "You can get them once you're back on your feet." Leo agreed, relieved. Before he was lifted into the ambulance, he looked at Rusty. "Thank you," he whispered. He didn't know why, but he felt that the little dog's arrival had been a sign, a turning point. Weeks later, Leo, with his leg in a cast and his hand bandaged, walked into the animal shelter. He was immediately greeted by Daisy's joyful barks. In the next kennel, a scruffy little dog with amber eyes sat quietly, watching him. "I'm here for him too," Leo told the attendant, pointing to Rusty. When the kennel door opened, Rusty walked straight to Leo and nudged the hand that had shown him kindness. Leo knelt, wincing a little, and wrapped his arms around both dogs. From that day on, the three of them were a family. Leo found a new job at a small family-owned bakery, where the owner was touched by his story and his love for his dogs. Rusty, now clean and well-fed, regained his strength and his playful spirit. He and Daisy became inseparable. Leo's smile returned, brighter than before. The sorrow that had haunted him began to recede, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude. Every night, instead of praying for strength, he gave thanks. "Thank you," he would whisper into the quiet room, "for bringing me hope when I needed it most." And by his side, two loyal friends would sleep soundly, their presence a constant reminder that even in the darkest of times, a simple act of kindness can change everything. If you enjoyed this beautiful story and reflection, don't forget to share it with anyone you think might find it useful. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos and new reflections for your life. See you in the next video. See you soon.